different manifestations of possibility, and where everything and nothing, everyone and no one, all the possibilities are there. And from that silence, from that stillness, comes the vibrational manifestations of individual possibilities that we call the physical world and other worlds. Everything in the vibrational realm of experience is an illusion. Just that, an experience. One manifestation of all possibility. What we are is the silence and the stillness, having that experience. This is what we are. Everything from the beginning, my birth, my ancestors, my children, my wife, everything comes together simultaneously. I saw everything about me and about everyone who was around me. I saw everything they were thinking now, what they thought then, what was happening before, what was happening now. There is no time, no sequence of events, no such thing as limitation of distance, a period of time, of place. I could be anywhere I wanted to be simultaneously. That's what we are. And the way that this computer filters reality gives us a mistaken identity, especially with the encouragement from the conspiracy and the manipulation. And we think in terms of limitation when we are all possibility. And the key thing is to know that, to know thyself, to know the full extent of who we are, and to express it without fear of the consequences. Don't think you are, mind, know you are. Consciousness. Consciousness doesn't think. That's why you go into deep states of meditation. There's silence. And the chatter stops, as it did when Jill Bolte Taylor had that experience with the hemorrhage in the left brain. It's just the decoded world of the computer, reality. And when we get to that level, then the miracles can start, because we overpower the limitations of laws of physics and all these other things that relate to the mind's version of reality. And then we start to get system failure. And we are now in a situation where energetic change is fueling this awakening of humanity. And it's funny, you know, when I started out 20 years ago, and I went to see a psychic to try to see if she would pick up this presence I felt around me for month after month. I didn't tell her anything. Just told her that I had arthritis and maybe hands-on healing would work, nothing else, and then things started to happen. And she said, 1990, that I was going to go out on a world stage because some being was telling her, and reveal great secrets and all that stuff, which I thought was bloody crazy. What are you talking about, woman? I present the sport on the news. But one of the key things, and why I bring that up now, that was back in 1990, in that same meeting with the psychic that was so accurate with hindsight, I was told there is going to be a spiritual revolution within his lifetime that is basically going to wake humanity up from the amnesic state that it's been in. And it's a vibrational change that is going to bring this about. And that's why the first book I ever wrote on these subjects, and I wrote it in a complete fog because I didn't know what the bloody hell was happening to my life. I called it Truth Vibrations. Came out in 1991. I wrote it in 1990. And I called it Truth Vibrations after this vibrational change that I'd been told about right at the start that was coming. Now, in 1990, there was absolutely no evidence of a vibrational change that was going to wake up humanity or any waking up of humanity. But over the last 20 years, right to the present day, and exponentially now, it's bloody obvious that something very seriously is happening all over the world to bring people to a state of consciousness from a state of unconsciousness. And the way we decode reality is changing as a result. Mind is about division. The change, consciousness, is about oneness, unity of everything. And when I said earlier that a few weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago now, I went into that state and that voice was talking about the schism and all that stuff. One of the things it said in that same experience was the correction is now happening to correct the schism. some interesting things it said. You know, all I can tell you is what it said, and people must take it or leave it, was that because everything has a self-identity or an awareness, this schism had taken on this self-identity and was resisting this correction from this vibrational change that was happening. And what I was shown as the voice was saying this was a man clinging onto a bar and some other men trying to pull him off the bar, and he was clinging tighter and tighter and tighter to hold onto the bar, symbolic of what we were saying about this correction and this schism, self-identity, resisting this change. And what it was saying was that what we're seeing in the world now, in the play-out decoded world, with this mad panic rush to impose this Orwellian state and put the lid on and microchip people and all this stuff, was the schism playing out into the decoded holographic world, this last resistance to this correction, the word it kept using, this correction, energetic correction, that was going to balance out this schism and therefore transform the decoded world as it happened. And that we were going to go back to the state of harmony. One of the things it said is, don't expect it to happen 10 minutes from now, because when the schism happened, the energetic vibrational change was so different that in the decoded world, the change was so different that there was massive geological events, symbolized by the Great Flood and all these things we were talking about earlier. So this energy, this correction is happening at the rate necessary to stop another catastrophe, as there's another energetic change from one state to another very, very quickly. But that this change was happening. Well, we can see it in the way that people are attuning to it. Now, I'm going to be at odds with a lot of people over this, I'm sure, but I should, from my experience with the truth vibrations and all that stuff, say, hey, see 2012, yeah, it all fits. I'll be honest with you, I can't sync with 2012. I can't sync with this thing that's going to just transform everything in a very short time in 2012 because of the Mayan calendar. I can't sync with it. By 2012, this correction energy will have moved on. More and more people will have woken up, because it's happening faster and faster, I can tell you, as someone that travels around a lot. But 2013 it will be further, and 2014 it will be further. I don't see, as some people do, this, I call it the spiritual Y2K 2012. And there's not a problem with people believing anything so long as we get on with it. What I'm seeing, and many other people I know are seeing who do websites and things that interact with the public, is the number of people that's saying there's no need to do anything because it's all going to be sorted in 2012. I mean, please. Okay, let's wait till 2012, realize it ain't going to be sorted in 2012 just like that, and hey, we've lost 3 years of doing something. So, I respect people, whatever people want to think about 2012, I can't sync with it. And I think to a very large extent it's a diversion if we're not careful. But is there a vibrational change? There is. And we're seeing it, and people are feeling it and changing as a result of it. Now, back in 1990, yes, just after I saw that psychic, I was taken by someone who I met to see this lady who was a channeler. And, this thing about channeling and all that stuff, well, it depends what you're connecting to. Because you can connect to a load of crap and then channel a load of crap, and there's a lot of that about. There's people who channel information which is just coming from their own bloody mind, They're making it up. I was with a group once, and this person went into channel mode, and she was answering questions in great detail. People were saying, they were kind of in awe, and they were saying, I remember one lady said, "What's my path?" And this channeling lady said, "All will be revealed when the time is right." And I thought, I could do that. I could do that. But every now and again, you come across something that stands the test of time. And going back right to those early days, 1990, and I was nowhere near understanding what the hell was happening to me. It was years before I started to anything like understand it, really. I went to see this lady with this guy. And she started going into